115 हो जाए भाई, प्लीज प्लीज relegate City भाई.
So, hello and welcome back to the new episode.
Right, guys. So I want to bring forward this topic, which is sort of trending right now. The recent turn of events regarding the case between the Premier League and Manchester City, अपना 115. ठीक है. So just to give you guys a context, what has happened, right? So there has been this fight between City and Premier League on the rules and regulations, basically surrounding the APTs, which is the associated party transaction, right? So अब ये इसके अंदर क्या हुआ है कि now if you go to see, City has made a lot of noise. Of course, the noisy neighbors make the noise, will make the noise, but they have basically gone on and said on record, "Okay, bhai, we have won on a lot of things, right?" And Premier League has been a bit subdued in the response. However, if you look at the um, rulings, right? This is like a very significant moment in the entire case, because the main challenge and the main the main theme on which the entire ruling was about, it was regarding the associated party transactions and the PSR initiative by the Premier League, which the court has now ruled that EPTs and all the rulings around PSR is something which is very much necessary in order to comply with the fair competition rule. Okay. And this is significant. Why? Because यहाँ पे City thought that City can just use the funds that they are getting from other associated parties, because of course they are a part of the City group. तो कोई प्लेयर को लोन पे ले लिया whatever, या फिर or even the shareholders are giving them interest free loans. So all of that stuff, they thought that they could just take the money here and then get that competitive advantage over other clubs in terms
Hmm.
of the financials. But that structure of EPTs and the rulings around it has been withheld. So fundamentally, this makes City's case very, I wouldn't say difficult, but a little more tricky, because remember, this ruling is very much separate from the 115 charges. That's a separate thing altogether.
Yeah.
Okay. So ये वाला जो है इधर पे, this is more like a turning point in how the next set of rulings are going to be seen as. And there are talks that even the best of the minds in the legal industry, they themselves don't know कि भाई कौन से तरफ जाएगा. So it is that tight. But both the players are calling themselves winners right now. So what exactly has happened? I'll just sort of go get into a bit more detail, right?
Hmm.
So इधर पे ना तीन चीज हुआ है, ठीक है. तीन बेसिकली रूलिंग्स हुआ है जहां पे सिटी इज क्लेमिंग इट्स विक्ट्री. पहला चीज है बेंच मार्किंग के ऊपर. अभी इसके अंदर ना दिस इज मोर ऑफ अ प्रोसीजरल थिंग. एंड नाउ व्हाट द क्लब्स आर सपोज टू डू इज के दे आर सपोज टू give all the deals, disclose all the deals, and peg it against the fair market value. ओके, जो प्रीमियर लीग बनाते हैं, बट प्रीमियर लीग ने बोला है कि नहीं, वी कांट गिव बिकॉज ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंशियल रीजंस. वो तुम
Hmm.
खुद से करके दो, एंड अगर सपोज वो ऑफ द मार्क हुआ बहुत ज्यादा, तो फिर यू विल बी पनिश फॉर इट. सिटी ने बोला कि भाई देख, ये ऐसा तुम करोगे तो मेरे को तो पता नहीं हाउ आर यू बेंच मार्किंग, राइट? सो हाउ एम आई सपोज टू पेग इट अगेंस्ट अ फेयर वैल्यू. सो दिस इज द माइनर वे वेयर सिटी वाज लाइक, सिटी को बोला गया कि चलो ठीक है, दैट्स अ फेयर इनफ पॉइंट. Premier League is using its dominant position to must use its dominant position to keep things in order. But ऐसा नहीं है कि वो कुछ भी बोलेगा तो मानना पड़ेगा sorts. Like there should be some sort of credibility or fairness in that assessment. Second thing is again a very small one, decision making delays, जहाँ पे Premier League failed to respond to all the APT applications which City had submitted. तो उसमें भी because of that delay, City was not able to do the other APT stuff. And because of that, City ने बोला कि भाई delay तो Premier League ने किया था, so why are you like getting
Hmm.
after me? तो कोर्ट ने बोला ठीक है. Third is now the, I would say, a very important point जहाँ पे City का win हुआ है. Okay. Now that is regarding the shareholders loan, and which makes sense, okay, and which has complicated and muddied the situation. So we know that there have been in this litigation between City and Premier League, there have been backers for both the sides. Chelsea, Brighton, I think, and Everton. These are the backers primarily for City, and for Premier League, you have likes of United and Arsenal and all, right? Over there on the other side. नाउ सिटी का ये बोलना है कि भाई देखो वी हैव टेकन नाउ शेयर होल्डर लोन्स में क्या है व्हाट हैपेंस टिपिकली इज के यू हैव योर इन्वेस्टर they give you a loan, but because they know it is for my own investment, I will give that loan at an interest free rate,
Hmm.
which of course is not fair, right? Because market में तो तुमको कुछ तो इंटरेस्ट देना पड़ता, बट वो पैसा बच गया कंपनी क्लब का, so that is the financial advantage. However, City ने बोला कि ये you are judging me from that lens, but then you are not looking at other clubs who are also doing the same thing. अब
Hmm.
इसमें फटी है आर्सेनल की बिकॉज आर्सेनल हैज आल्सो डन द सिमिलर थिंग. ठीक है.
210
So,
मिलियन कुछ लिया है ना.
so Arsenal in 2022 and 23, they had borrowed 259 million pounds in
Oh.
shareholder loans from Korenke Sports and Entertainment. Similarly, Everton have also taken an interest-free loan from the majority shareholder, which is Farhad Moshiri. Okay, so and Brighton have also all the City wale side guy, except for Arsenal, of course. Brighton have also taken a 400 million loan, okay, in interest free loans from 2009. सो सिटी बोल रहा है कि भाई अब तुम लोग उनको कुछ नहीं बोल रहे हो मेरे को बोल रहे हो तो ये ऐसा बनता नहीं है. सो दिस इज वेयर द रूलिंग विच इज फेयर यू कैन से, दिस इज वेयर यू कैन say City has claimed a victory, but this is all that City has quote unquote won. Okay, because majorly, I think the major win for Premier League is that they can now go back to that 115 allegations wala suit and tell ki EPT ruling, right, is really important for the entire PSR structure. So this is what the judges had mentioned. Okay, the judges had concluded that the fair market value regulations as written were clearly defined, transparent, and non-discriminatory. ठीक है.
Hmm.
So which means that it is very much essential. And what happens is कि वो 115 charges वाले केस के अंदर you will have Premier League going back and telling कि boss now I will scrutinize you on this stuff. Now, what happens next? I mean, nobody knows what is going to happen next. I think I would like to now put forward that question to both of you. Now that we are seeing, Arsenal in a sort of soup, right? कि अभी ये तो लोन लेके बैठे हुए हैं बट ये सिटी के अगेंस्ट है तो डू यू सी them changing a stance? If City win by any chance, this will give a huge advantage to an already one-sided, let's say, Premier League. But yeah, I mean, question to you guys: how do you feel this entire chain of events has, proceeded, and what are the possible chess moves that the other clubs are going to make, or how are they going to change this stand, especially when it comes to Arsenal?
First of all, thank you for summarizing everything because this was really difficult to understand. मतलब
Yeah.
genuinely कुछ चीजें मुझे भी bouncer जा रही थी when I was reading the article for the first
Hmm.
time. Now I think it will be clear for many people. But I have a fundamental question. Forget that these separate cases, and I want to ask this one whole question. Like तू प्रीमियर लीग है, तेरा कंपटीशन एक टीम लगातार 4 बार जीता है, टोटल 7 बार जीता है. They might do the fifth time on
Yeah.
repeat, है ना. In the history तू एज अ प्रीमियर लीग ये क्लेम कर रहा है कि इन लोग ने चीटिंग किया, which हम लोग के पास सबूत है, हमने दिए. नाउ आई एम सीइंग प्रीमियर लीग एज अ कमजोर बोर्ड इन फ्रंट ऑफ सिटी बिकॉज नाउ यू चल एक इसको सिचुएशन को सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं. यू आर स्टेइंग एट समवन्स हाउस, ओके, यू आर नॉट गिविंग देम रेंट एंड यू आर नॉट इवन गोइंग अवे एंड दैट ओनर हैज लॉन्च अ कंप्लेंट अगेंस्ट यू बट स्टिल यू आर नॉट गोइंग, यू आर लिविंग इन द सेम प्लेस. तो इस सिचुएशन में कमजोर कौन देखेगा, ओनर या तू? बिकॉज दैट ओनर कांट गेट यू आउट ऑफ दैट हाउस, है ना. सिंपल भाषा में, लेमैन टर्म में बोला जाओ तो, करेक्ट. इफ द सिटी इज क्लेमिंग दैट even for the one case, and they were right. I think if this gives City upper hand, then this 115, it is questionable thing. We can have a debate on why everyone in City's chief executive, CEOs, everyone's leaving. Pep Guardiola has question marks on his future. We all can have a debate on that. But right now, the whole scenario is giving me only one thing, that Premier League as a whole is looking very weak in front of City. But
I think that जो तुझे लग रहा है कि Premier League is looking weak, I think it is also because of the way City have sort of presented
Yeah.
this whole case from their side. They have presented it
Mm,
that this is a major victory for them, even when, like, if you look at the facts of the matter, it's not like a significant victory for them. But
yeah.
within like 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the ruling coming in, City had a press release which was very celebratory in tone, out to
Mm,
most journalists, and most of the journalists who just pick press release and write it without checking the case actually did actually
yeah.
show it the way that City had won. But it was only
Mm,
later, like a day or day and a half later, when I think Telegraph was the first one that actually looked through the ruling
mm,
and said that it's not like a one-sided victory for City like they have been presenting. I think the issue
mm,
is here is Premier League का credibility is under serious doubt. एक तरफ पे 115 वाला केस दे आर गोइंग ऑन विद, दूसरी तरफ पे you have a lot of these PSR cases that have started popping up. For example, you had the Everton penalties that happened last
yeah.
season. Then you have this whole APT thing where you are telling City did something bad, but then if you look at other clubs, they have also kept doing it for a while now, but at
Yeah.
that time you didn't have any problem. So I think इधर issue वही हो रहा है जो actually Premier League में, if you look on the pitch, our biggest issue with refereeing is क्या, consistency, that the referee
hmm,
is not
Mm,
consistent. आई थिंक
yeah.
प्रीमियर लीग के रूल्स के साथ भी यही हो रहा है दैट कंसिस्टेंसी कहाँ है. ठीक है, रूल्स हैं, बट आर दे बीइंग कंसिस्टेंटली अप्लाइड? आई थिंक
Mm,
ऑल ऑफ दिस टुगेदर मींस के इवेंचुअली जो भी रेगुलेशंस है अराउंड लाइक एसोसिएटेड पार्टी ट्रांजैक्शंस और वेदर इट्स पीएसआर एंड ऑल, आई थिंक कंप्लीट रीथिंक प्रीमियर लीग के एंड पे होने वाला है या होना चाहिए. बिकॉज लुक एट इट दिस वे ऑल्सो ना, अभी ये लोग का शेयर होल्डर लोन वाला सीन हुआ है. सो इफ प्रीमियर लीग सीज
mm,
दैट कि अगर ये प्रॉब्लम है इन देयर व्यू, फॉर एग्जांपल
mm,
they feel that this should not be happening, this is giving an unfair advantage, whatever, so
mm,
they should go back and change their regulation to say so clearly that this is wrong, we will not allow this in our league. The problem here is that Premier League itself is just the 20 clubs that are playing, right? it it
hmm,
yeah.
it is a body separately, but at the end of the day the voting power is shared between the clubs. तो इसमें
Mm,
बहुत सारा, आई एम श्योर देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ डिविजन अमंग clubs on how to sort of view this. And like Buggy mentioned that Arsenal ने Premier League को support किया, but as soon as those shareholder loans came up, they are now
yeah.
sort of dicey as to which
Yeah.
side of the argument we belong to.
Premier League का क्या है ना, Premier League has also said कि they might have to just tweak the rules here and there, but there's not much that we have lost because the main case on which it was fighting City and it is going to fight City is going to be those 115 charges, which is related to ATPs. So structurally, ATPs, the judges have mentioned that you they cannot see any other way in which PSR rules can be complied with if there's no APT rules. Okay, in place. A City have sort of taken the limelight for now.
hmm,
Maybe just to kind of change the narrative थोड़ा बहुत. अब ultimately क्या होता है, City might just end up winning also, but I think Premier
हाँ.
League right now is seen as someone which has tried or maybe like sort of abused their dominant position to be a bit biased towards City. At least that has come out clearly. Hopefully 115 हो जाए भाई, please. Please relegate City भाई.
no,
अब
but
कर दो.
and currently
हाँ.
it looks like that City is bullying the Premier League, legit.
Yeah, can
So
say.
if
And
the Premier
I think
League,
that is exactly what they wanted to go for also. They were like कि उधर You are trying to do that 115, we'll show it to you here. I think this is
Yeah,
what their whole idea was.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Premier League, if you are claiming the biggest league in the world, please do something with this city, because if they are guilty, if Everton and Nottingham Forest, they have been getting their points deducted, then City also deserve some kind of punishment, and it should be a huge one. Okay, amazing topics. Got to learn lots of things today. If you want us to talk about any specific topic, please let us know in the comments, and keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.
Peace.